Head on primetime. Adriana Cotero has the latest on a major drug bust in the village of Chalampago. Plus, the Guam Visitors Bureau and Guam Customs launch a new electronic declaration form for arriving passengers. And Guam Homeland Security and Civil Defense says there is no immediate threat from the reported North Korean missile launch.
Confident, good evening. I'm Peter Santos. Marshals were there to serve a protection order and removal at a Chalampago residence, but it turned into a major drug bust with local and federal authorities executing a search warrant. KUAM's Adriana Cotero reports.
Drugs, guns, and more drugs. That's what marshals came across as they were attempting to serve a protection order and removal on 36-year-old Jerome Camacho Cruz. According to court documents, in the morning hours of March 22nd, Superior Court marshals were trying to remove Cruz when they spotted drug paraphernalia, suspected meth, and 2 firearms in plain view. As they cleared the house and waited for a warrant to come in, 27-year-old Kayleen Isabel Pangilinan Mingiola was also found inside the house. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms arrived with the Guam Police Department to execute the warrant. Inside Cruz's room, officers recovered a rifle, pistol, a magazine, multiple plastic bags containing a white crystal-like substance which tested positive for meth, a plastic bag containing several round pills, a plastic container with several white and yellow pills that appeared to be Xanax, a digital scale, large amounts of money, pill crushers, and a glass pipe with residue. At the time of the incident, Cruz was on pretrial release for several cases, including one where he was ordered to stay away from Mingiola. He also has several felony drug convictions stretching back to 2009. And according to our files, back in December 2020, he was wanted by officers relative to an aggravated assault complaint that occurred in Tamuning. On December 24th, the magistrate's complaint charged Cruz with possession of a Schedule II controlled substance with intent to deliver as a first-degree felony, possession of a Schedule II controlled substance as a third-degree felony, 2 counts of possession of a firearm without a firearms ID as third-degree felonies, 2 counts of possession of an unregistered firearm as third-degree felonies. All charges are attached with notice of felony while on felony release. Additionally, he faces violation of a court order as a misdemeanor and 4 counts of violation of a court order as a misdemeanor. As for Mingiola, she was charged with possession of a Schedule II controlled substance and 2 counts of possession of a Schedule IV controlled substance, both as third-degree felonies. The total weight recovered from the room was approximately 22.95 gross grams of meth. During an interview, Cruz stated he was a longtime drug user, but he didn't know anything about the meth in the house. He later admitted to having just 7 grams of meth for his personal use, and at first admitted to living in the house, and then denied that and saying his son stayed in his bedroom. Cruz did, however, say the firearms belonged to him, brought over by a person he only knew as B. During an interview with officers, Mingiola said she was in a relationship with Cruz and that the items collected were found in their bedroom. Court documents state she admitted to using drugs, including opioids and meth. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Adriana Cotero.
Yesterday, Cruz and Mingiola appeared before Magistrate Judge Jonathan KUAM. Cruz is being held on a $30,000 cash bail, and Mingiola was released to house arrest on a $5,000 personal recognizance bond. Both defendants' next court appearance will be on April 2nd in Judge Vern Perez's courtroom. Out with the old and in with the new, GVB and Guam Customs have just made the switch to digital as they launch their new electronic declaration forms for arriving passengers. Here's more.
Angle it down. Angle it down. Off a day.
After a long flight, the last thing you want to do is rush to fill out one of these. But that's about to change with GVB and Guam Customs' launch of the electronic declaration form.
Today is the official day we launched the Guam Electronic Declaration Form. And what the EDF does is it really digitizes all the forms that you would have to fill out as a traveler, as a visitor, or a returning resident. What we wanted to do, and the governor supported us on this, was really limit the interaction between our local residents and government officials with the travelers.
According to GVB Director of Tourism Research Nico Fujikawa, GVB and Guam Customs will ease into the transition slowly, continuing to offer hard copies of the declaration forms in tandem with a new electronic alternative for the first few months. Those opting for the electronic form will be able to fill them out at any one of the available tablet stations and in a short while from wherever they are, as long as they have internet access.
We're going to offer a kiosk, about 6 kiosks throughout the airport terminal, and allow a certain flight, specific flights, to go ahead and go in and access those forms, print out a QR code, and allow Guam Customs, allow public health to really see what that process is going to look like and how it's going to change. Going forward, though, by I want to say mid-April, we are looking to open up a live link so that people can access it anywhere up to 3 days prior to them coming back to Guam. And what that does is that will streamline the process a lot faster.
With Guam Customs operating in a more traditional fashion, processing hard copies, Fujikawa says the switch to digital will make the process more streamlined and a whole lot safer.
In terms of security, it definitely makes them more efficient, but it also secures your information. Currently, as it stands, if you were to fill out a form, you drop it on the ground, everybody has your information out there. If you were to drop one of our QR codes and somebody picked it up to try and scan it, it'll bring you to an error page. So all your information is more secure as it gets passed through the system.
GVB's Carl Gutierrez is optimistic Guam will hit the 50% vaccination rate by May 1st. That will prompt the governor to lift the mandatory quarantine for arriving passengers, which officials hope will spark tourism. Speaking today on The Link, Gutierrez says as a next step, the local industry is also working to roll out a health alert system so both visitors and local businesses can be comfortable that the virus is not being spread.
You know, you've seen those A, B, C grades, and you usually see a nice A. And this time we're adding something else to it, which is the WTTC added to it so that you have been certified that you are safe and you followed all the various codes, which is in working with public health. We take our guidance from public health. And as a matter of fact, the entire airport has been certified since a long time ago when we worked this. So that will show the tourists that we are serious about making sure they're safe and they are safe.
The WTTC stands for World Travel and Tourism Council, which established the certification system. Don't try to work the system. Labor Director Dave De La Sola warns that calling in sick to qualify under reduced hours or refusing to work can get you permanently disqualified from the federal unemployment program. De La Sola says businesses have been telling him they're having challenges getting employees back to their jobs. He encourages companies to report such issues to GDOL, and he encourages employees to start going back to work.
We need to start rebuilding our island and our business community. PUA is only going to go till September, and then that's going to come faster than you think. So now's the time to go out, get those jobs, get those training, get, find that new career or find, go back to that work, because don't wait till September when the floodgates open and everybody's going to try to panic and look for work.
Meanwhile, De La Sola says the most recent statistics from December show Guam's unemployment rate was 19.1%, which he called, quote, a mind-boggling figure. Speaker Therese Terlahi joins the chorus of discontent involving a report filed recently by the General Services Agency. The annual report details 27 pages of emergency and sole source procurement conducted during 2020. It includes almost $28 million worth of emergency purchases, but lacks full descriptions of what exactly the money was spent on, and in some cases, lines in the report were blank.
I asked GSA formally for a more thorough list, the one that has, the complete names. They've actually told me that that's not possible unless they do it manually, which will take time, or that they change their program, which is very surprising to me and very frustrating, of course. So I'm still following up on that. I don't think we can operate like this. So the reporting is really not satisfactory if that's how it's going to come in.
Oversight Chair Senator Sabina Perez has said she will hold an oversight hearing on the report. Senator James Moylan has also introduced legislation to mandate GSA file the reports monthly. GSA, in the meantime, has said they can justify every purchase order. As of Wednesday, upwards of 73,473 COVID vaccines have been administered across the island. And that number is only growing larger now that the VA PPC approved the vaccination eligibility criteria to ages 16 and older. Tyler Matsanani reports from the UOG Cavill Fieldhouse Vaccination Clinic.
It was a steady flow as Guard members ushered various groups around the field house. One by one, ages 16 and older got their dose of either Pfizer or Moderna. Thanks to his aunt, a public health employee, 17-year-old John Suba said he's ready to join the vaccination.
She got it and she convinced me because she wants to stay protected, of course, and I want to be protected too from the virus.
John explained that although neither him or any immediate family members caught COVID, his friends' parents did.
And of course it was a tough time for them, so I had to comfort them because they were scared also.
And for anyone hesitant to take the vaccine,
If you want your life to get back to normal, you should take it, dude.
16-year-old Lexi and 17-year-old El Kiragua said one of the reasons they got vaccinated was to protect their younger siblings.
We help our mom out a lot, so we go out a lot. We did it to keep them safe.
To be cautious.
I was actually the one who said we should go get it. My classmates sent me the link, so I went and checked it out, so I just made the appointment.
Both sisters felt perfect and said it's good to be cautious. Their auntie had been stricken with the virus. Thankfully, she made a full recovery.
She's good. She's great now.
Do it. Just do it. It's free.
Yeah.
A free vaccination. You're being safe. The sooner we can all get vaccinated, the sooner COVID will go away, and the sooner we can all go back to normal.
Now we're seeing a wide demographic coming down to the vaccination clinics, and slots are filling up fast. So if you're unable to book an appointment, remember 15 walk-ins are accepted at the end of every hour. And make sure to follow us on social media. We will be bringing you the daily updates on how you can avail to those opportunities. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Tyler Matanani.
North Korea reportedly launched 2 short-range ballistic missiles into the Sea of Japan Thursday. Guam Homeland Security and Civil Defense issued a news release saying that there was no indication that the launch posed an immediate threat to Guam or the Marianas. National media reports quote Japanese Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga as saying the missiles landed outside the country's exclusive economic zone. But Suga said, quote, the test threatens the peace and security of the region and our nation, end quote. Local authorities say they will continue to monitor the situation, and Guam had a big scare in 2017 when North Korean leader Kim Jong-un threatened a direct missile attack against local military installations. This was after then President Donald Trump said he would rain, quote, fire and fury down on North Korea. Stick around for more news here on Primetime. You're watching KUAM.
While we've all been through a lot over the years,
typhoons, earthquakes, and now COVID-19,
we've been able to get through these together.
For more than 80 years.
Travelers Insurance has been protecting your homes, your businesses,
and the health of your family.
We are here today and we'll be here tomorrow.
There are better days ahead. Tomorrow's a new day filled with hope and choices.
The possibilities of what we can achieve together are limitless.
Let's continue to work together to ensure a brighter tomorrow for all of us.
For the different beats of your life, we're here to keep you connected the way you want it. Plans made for you, by you. Build your own bundle with Link. Select the internet, entertainment, mobile, and home phone plans that fit your lifestyle. Pay for what you want, not for what you don't. Build your own bundle and save with Link.
We knew it was time to make these when we started asking things like, wouldn't it be nice to be able to get a warm cinnamon roll right now? And why can't this kind of muffin come from the same place as a McMuffin? And isn't your coffee lonely without company from a glazed apple fritter? Well, consider these our 3 resounding yeses. Meet the new bakery sweets at McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
KUAM News, winner of the 2020 Regional Edward R. Murrow Award for Excellence in Social Media.
Welcome back. Senators are scheduled to wrap up session tomorrow afternoon and vote on a series of bills. This includes a resolution by Speaker Therese Terlahi that will allow them to join in a Supreme Court case to clarify the governor's authority under the Emergency Health Powers Act. The High Court is considering a motion by the Leon Guerrero administration to preserve the governor's power to enforce quarantine during a public health emergency.
And in the governor's reply brief, the governor raised a new argument that the legislature exceeded its powers by passing sections 19604 and 19605 of the Emergency Health Powers Act. Because, according to the brief, they are, quote, in direct and irreconcilable conflict with, unquote, the Organic Act under 48 U.S.C. 1421 G.A., which grants the governor quarantine authority. So by this resolution, Madam Speaker, we would be authorizing the legislature to be represented in Guam Supreme Court case number CRQ 20-002 to assert the validity of the provisions of the Island Guahan Emergency Health Powers Act at issue, and ultimately to preserve the legislature's power granted by the Organic Act to enact law necessary to protect the health, safety, and general well-being of the people of Guam.
She says the Supreme Court invited the legislature to participate because it's, quote, typically a party to declaratory judgment actions involving separations of powers issues between the executive and legislative branches, end quote. With lawmakers moving Bill 57 to the third reading file, the Guam Fire Department is one step closer to receiving $3.8 million for their enhanced 911 emergency reporting system. But it's something we've heard several times before. Joe Nugan-Charfris has more.
It's been a long-standing issue, the over 20-year-old E911 system desperately in need of an upgrade, an issue that was supposedly being addressed back in 2012, when then Fire Chief Joey Nicholas told members of the 32nd Guam legislature that requests for proposals for a new system were on its way.
The drop-dead date that I had placed on myself and the staff for this E911 specs was October 1st. Drop-dead date, let's get it out there to GSA. The process is that they take, let's at least get it out of our hands and over there. I think we're on track for that.
Station 3, 1024.
8 years later and still no new system in place. Current Fire Chief Dan Stone echoing the similar sentiment in January of 2020.
We are still very much in contract negotiations, and as such, it is a process. And with any process, there's a bit of going back and forth. And so some of the time lapses that have occurred is through that back and forth negotiation that's ongoing. I'm very optimistic that we will have a contract in place here very soon.
That was over a year ago, and now the antiquated system is on its last legs. In February 2021, GFD testified at a public hearing regarding a bill sent by Governor Lou Leon Guerrero. The bill asked authorization to use the $3.8 million that was returned to the department